We are truly living in fascinating times with the WWE because the Forbidden Door is being opened to some shocking news coming out today. Guys, we're going to talk about it. Don't forget, we're giving away this championship belt at 100,000 subscribers, so go ahead and click subscribe today. All right, before we could get to WWE opening the Forbidden Door, New Japan Pro Wrestling has made a very interesting change. Hiroshi Tanahashi has been announced as the new president and representative director for New Japan Pro Wrestling. After a meeting of New Japan Pro Wrestling's board of directors and shareholders today, December 23, 2023, the following personnel change has been made in the company. This is pretty insane. Tanahashi has been appointed the new president of the company. Hitoshi Matsumoto has become the new director, chief of business production, and we also have Taro Okada, who is the president and CEO of Bushiroad Fight. His position, according to New Japan, is a part-time position, and they're going to do a press conference on December 26th at 1 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, which will discuss more of the changes. Hiroshi Tanahashi will address the fans directly in his new role as president, and this is kind of exciting, man. Tanahashi, obviously, towards the end of his career, obviously, when it comes to Japanese pro wrestling in general, and you look at maybe, you know, how America handles wrestling and how the Japanese, you know, like the Japanese market is, how they're different from America's market. I think one benefit with Tanahashi being president is you could strengthen the expansion in America and in Europe and across the globe, which is what New Japan wants to do. They're very vocal about a global expansion. And one thing I think that could be very interesting here is, how does New Japan's partnership with AEW, how does it go moving forward, right? I actually think it will probably improve even more with Tanahashi being part of this new role, because with him taking over presidency for this company, you know, Tanahashi is somebody who has worked in with AEW before, and I think having that mind, somebody who was a pro wrestler, a top pro wrestler for the organization, this guy who has been able to go to America and, you know, represent NJPW. I think this is actually a good decision for New Japan Pro Wrestling when it comes to them doing their global expansion. So Tanahashi is now the president of the company. Definitely unexpected, but I think it's cool. Definitely something I'm super intrigued to see how New Japan moves forward, and I'll obviously be tuning in on the 26th to see the press conference. Guys, WWE revealed a new snippet, a new vignette for Authors of Pain, but you might have not noticed that it was Authors of Pain. On SmackDown, WWE had Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux do this little vignette, and, you know, at the end of it, Karrion Kross is talking about scribes, and he talks about authors. And then it flashes, and if you don't slow it down quick enough, if you don't pause it quick enough, you might have missed it. But Authors of Pain with Paul Ellering. Now, just about a week or two ago, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I did drop something on there. I did drop something on X letting you know that this could be happening. And yes, it's happening. This is fantastic stuff. I think this is interesting for me because Karrion Kross, I could be the first to admit, I'm a huge fan of Karrion Kross. And I love, one thing that I loved about Karrion Kross in this vignette was they were telling the story of every person who has feuded with Karrion Kross has come out a different person. And they've showcased this. They showed you what happened to Drew McIntyre and Shinsuke Nakamura and Rey Mysterio, and what they immediately have done after taking a beating from Karrion Kross. However, Karrion Kross hasn't necessarily been booked as this huge dominant force. I think they really dropped the ball with Karrion Kross after his feud with Drew McIntyre. So when I see this vignette and you're piecing things together, I'm like, damn, they're building a new faction. And this is one of those new factions where I think it's actually going to help all involved. It's going to make Karrion Kross a beast. I think Karrion Kross, if they allow Karrion Kross to wrestle the same way he did outside of WWE, I think it's going to get over. And then you add Authors of Pain, they're the Muscle. I mean, this is clearly going to be a heel faction. And with SmackDown, you have the OC, which there's kind of some interesting stuff happening there. And then you have the Bloodline. And then you have the Judgment Day, who also cross over into SmackDown because of the Tag Team Championships. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. This new faction is one to watch out for. And with Karrion Kross being paired with Authors of Pain, it's interesting because we've known that Authors of Pain were coming back to the WWE, but we didn't know if Paul Ellering would actually be with them. So now WWE is in a very good spot with these guys who, like, for a while it was like, hey, what can we do with these guys? What can we do with everybody together? And one of my biggest solutions on this channel that I've talked about is, hey, if you have people who you don't think are being utilized correctly or not getting enough TV time, throw them in a faction, repackage them. And this is going to be a big test for WWE. How they handle this faction will be a big test. But I have a very strong feeling this is going to be the thing that helps Karrion Kross get over in a whole different level. We have been talking about it for a while that they have major plans for the guy, and they kind of want to get him acclimated to the main roster better. This is the way to do it. And obviously, when you add Authors of Pain, I think it's going to work out. This is not going to be the faction that you expect insane wrestling from. This is going to be the faction that shows up, dominates, and leaves. And that's something that intrigues the hell out of me. Guys, it's finally here. WWE All Japan Pro Wrestling. A new video has dropped with the President Fukada coming out, accepting a phone call from America, and it happens to be WWE. This is so cool, man. I really cannot believe this is actually happening because it just goes to show you how different WWE is with this new regime. And let's just face it, WWE has wanted to expand into Japan for a while. All Japan Pro Wrestling is one of the companies who's willing to make that happen. In this video, the president of All Japan Pro Wrestling, he gets a phone call, and basically they're doing a Triple Crown Championship match on January 3rd, and they basically confirm the assassin. There's an assassin that's coming. It's a strong assassin from NXT. Now, the way that it was kind of positioned in this video, it sounds like WWE is sending an NXT star to All Japan Pro Wrestling to do this, and I'm thinking it's Drew Gulak, just based on some of the verbiage that is used. But nonetheless, it doesn't really matter who WWE is using. When I see All Japan Pro Wrestling put out this video, and they're announcing that they are opening the forbidden door with WWE, this tells me there is a lot of things to get excited about, because for one, you need to understand why WWE wants expansion in Japan. Right? The reason why New Japan partners with TNA and AEW is because they're trying to grow their fan base internationally for New Japan. When you look at WWE trying to work in Japan with a promotion, it's because they're trying to leave a bigger footprint across Japan, which we all know eventually WWE wants to have NXT Japan. And it was always about finding the right suitor, the right company that would work with them. This is step one. They now have a relationship with the company that can open that door for WWE's expansion into Japan. Now, for All Japan Pro Wrestling, they're going to get WWE NXT superstars in their company. Maybe we'll get some main roster wrestlers in that company as well. But now what intrigues me the most is WWE could bring in talent from All Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think if WWE's eventual goal is to have NXT Japan, you got to have some of this talent come into WWE, whether it's NXT, Raw, SmackDown, Royal Rumbles, whatever it may be. Even if people don't know who they are, you have to show that WWE is willing to work with a Japanese pro wrestling company. All Japan Pro Wrestling is obviously one with a lot of historical value. This is cool, man. I'm just saying, we literally went from watching a company where WWE didn't want to work with other companies. Now, in the last few years, you're starting to see that things are changing, and today, here we are, WWE truly is changing. They're opening the forbidden door, and I just think that's so badass, dude. I think it's cool. I thought one of the coolest things about AEW was the fact that they were such a large company willing to work with other companies, and I always feel like AEW can do better with that, you know, in terms of like sending their talent to other places. But this is WWE sending their talent to All Japan Pro Wrestling. I think that's cool, man. And let's say, you know, whoever becomes champion, whoever from WWE goes, if they win the belt, I would be very fascinated to see if they come back with that championship belt on television. Beautiful times ahead, man. This is crazy. Nick Khan and Triple H are truly changing the way WWE does business. And the best part is Endeavor's making it happen. They're all cool with it. And I'm just going to leave this out here for you guys just to remember, right? It's not about what companies WWE works with, because there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies out there. But it's about the actual formula. It's about the structure. It's about the base. It's about just the simple idea of knowing that WWE has not been that type of company to work with other companies. And WWE doesn't typically play nice with these other companies. And WWE is now in a situation where they're willing to do things that they have never been willing to do in the past. It's a whole different WWE. And yeah, there's a reason why there's a lot of excitement with WWE. They're putting out a good product, but it's not about just putting out a good product. It's about, hey, your talent want to go home once in a while and rest. Now they're letting them do that. Talent want to work with other companies and take other bookings. We're getting there. Like, it doesn't all happen overnight, but I am shocked that WWE going to Endeavor may have been the best thing that has ever happened in WWE history. And obviously, we'll have to wait years and years and years to see if that's true. But I'm living in a time where I'm telling you guys, I was very fearful for WWE and we're getting sold, because I was like, there's just no way like anything good will come out of it. And it just appears that this appears to be so freaking good. Like, it's shocking. It's very shocking to me. I literally am shocked to see that WWE is doing this kind of stuff. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'll definitely be paying attention to this. I think everyone should be.